So as long as you have a chair, preferably a chair that doesn't have sides. If it does, then we can work around that. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Meghan Belfler. So I'm one of the employees at Belfler Physiotherapy. So on our list of participants today, we have some of the crew from Belfler Physiotherapy there. So some of the physiotherapists that are just basically coming to observe to see what chair yoga is all about. Perhaps you've been to a chair yoga class before, but this is basically my launch for this class, so I can add it to my roster of classes that I'm going to offer on a weekly basis. So a little bit about chair yoga. If you haven't taken chair yoga before, it is basically the same. Yoga is yoga. That's what I should come out and say. Yoga is yoga. You can do yoga in a chair. You can do it on the floor. You can do it standing. Anybody can do yoga. So anything that you can do in any position, say on the floor, using your knees, your wrists, you can essentially do in a chair as well. So for people who have concerns about knee injuries, wrists, anything like that, this is like a perfect solution for that. So you're in the right place. You work essentially all the same body parts as you would in some of those other positions you see when people are on the floor. Like I said, just the chair is added as a support or as a prop. So most of the things we're going to do in this yoga session today is going to be sitting in the chair. I'm not going to be getting too much up and down. I just want everybody to see the fundamentals of what a chair yoga practice is. If you need a little bit more of a challenge for whatever reason, then the practice can be done using the chair as the prop, standing up, and is just here for balance, all that kind of thing. So we're going to go along. Should be about 30 to 40 minutes, the practice. And usually when I go to end the practice, I'll just go to end all on the meeting, and I let you stay in whatever pose that I leave you with for as long as you'd like. If you want to sit there and relax, do it. And then if you have any questions for me after the session, I'm always here. Just send me a message. I'll get right back to you. If you're having any troubles with certain positions, like I say, there's a modifier for everything. So don't get discouraged if something's just not working out perfect for you. We can go ahead and fix that at a later date. So with that said, again, thank you for all coming, and let's get started. So since this is chair yoga, we will be sitting in the chair to start. So go ahead, take a nice, comfy seated position. You can start closing your eyes. Go ahead and put your hands wherever is comfortable. If it's palms facing up, palms facing down, on your thighs. You can just even leave them at your side, whatever you would like. This is your practice. And begin with your breath in through the nose, filling the chest, filling the belly. Bringing that air as far as you can down. Maybe holding the breath for a moment. And slowly releasing it. Maybe releasing more air than what you took in. And on your next inhale, try to sit a little bit straighter in your seat, kind of like a string is being tugged from the top of the crown of the head, pulling us up straight, spine nice and tall. Rolling the shoulders back, maybe up towards the ears and back, pulling the shoulder blades together and back down away from the ears. And while you're breathing, use this time to maybe come with an intention for your practice today. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a sentence, maybe it's a dedication for somebody out there that you feel needs this little extra love or positivity today, and just send it out to them. And anytime that you feel like you need to fidget or your mind starts to wander, go back to your breath, go back to your intention. So start to flutter maybe your eyes open, just slowly become adjusted back to the light. And we're going to start by bringing our chin down to our chest and rolling, maybe from right to left, waking up that neck. This isn't a fast movement. This is a nice, slow, controlled movement. And when you're ready, bringing it back, your chin back to center, tipping the head up to the sky, and rolling that neck along the back. Maybe bringing some awareness to some of the little crunchy spots we have in the back of our necks when you do this. Coming back, bringing your neck back to a central position, and then bringing that right arm out in front, kind of like a stop, like you're saying stop. Then bring your left hand, tipping the tips of your fingers backwards. So just giving those fingers and the wrist a nice little stretch. And then bringing the fingers down like you're showing somebody a nice big shiny ring. And then taking the hand and just bending those fingers back. Holding that for a moment. And then coming back up with the hand like a stop again, and then just twisting from side to side, kind of like a hello. Again, just waking up the wrist, waking up the forearms. And then bringing that hand back down. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So bringing that hand back up, like stop. Taking the opposite hand, pulling those fingers back. A nice stretch. You're pulling too hard and you're starting to feel pins and needles. Don't go that far into it. You don't want pain. You don't want pins and needles necessarily. It's not always a good sign. And then bringing those fingertips down, like you're showing off that ring again. Holding those fingers back, again. Holding. Then again, bringing that hand back up into that kind of stop sign. And then again, twisting the hand back and forth like you're waving. Perfect. So you can go ahead and bring your hand back down. Now we're going to wake up the legs a little bit here. So I'm going to ask that you take your right foot and you're going to kind of bring it up like you're on a tippy toe. And your tippy toes. So bring it up in a pointed position and then bring it back down to the ground. Let's do that again. Up into tippy toes, back down. Do it again. Back down. Again, back down, one more time, tippy toes again, and then back down. Now let's go to the opposite side. So again, like tippy toes, just waking the feet up, waking the ankles up. We'll do two more. Perfect. Now maybe bringing the leg out again and just twisting the foot like you're saying hello, like we kind of did with our hands. And just waking the legs up, bringing it back down. We'll do the same thing with the other side. Notice if you've got stiffness in those legs, in those ankles, and then bringing it back down. Now we're going to wake the entire core up. So in your seat, begin by kind of sliding to the right and then coming in and up and around. So you're going to go to the front, then to the left, and then you're going to come back in your seat. So we're going to do full body rolls just to get that body warmed up. Again. And then coming back towards the center, and then we're going to go the opposite way. Okay, back to center. Perfect. And once you're ready here, bring your left hand towards your right knee, and then your right hand can come in and behind you. So either behind your chair or behind your back, whatever's easiest. And then give yourself a nice twist in towards the right side, keeping the chin in towards the center part of your chest, not hiking the neck in behind. You want to keep a nice line in the center, and give yourself a nice twist to the right. And as you twist into this, again, remember your breath. So you're bringing that air in through the nose, inflating the chest, inflating that belly. And then when you're exhaling, slowly through the nose. And then with every exhale, trying to get a little bit deeper into that twist. Maybe it's only a millimeter. Maybe you can't do it, and that's okay too. You do the best you can. On your next inhale, bring yourself back to center, keeping that back nice and straight. If you feel like you're falling forward again, just hike those shoulders up towards the ears, roll them back, bring those shoulder blades together. On our next inhale, we're going to do the same thing with the other side. Right hand on the left knee, left hand comes in behind, and give yourself a nice twist. Again, breathing into the twist. Keeping that chin somewhere in towards the center of your chest. Again, not trying to hike that neck in behind. And with every exhale you take, try to go a little bit deeper into that twist. Nice big breaths in through the nose, out through the nose. And then on your next inhale, bringing yourself back to center. So in the chair, like there's two different versions of this. You can do this on the mat, but again, like I said, I've modified everything for chair. You can also do it in a standing way, but we're going to do this in the chairs for cat-cow. So maybe slide yourself a little bit more towards the center of your seat. Putting your hands towards your knees, sitting nice and tall, and then inhaling, arching the back, sending the back, chin up towards the ceiling. So you should have a nice arch in your back. And then exhaling, coming forward, bringing those hands forward nice and straight, onto the knees, exhaling, rounding the back. So I'll come forward on my side just in case you are not sure. Inhaling, bringing the shoulders back, coming back together, up towards the sky, chin up towards the sky. Exhale, coming forward, rounding that back out. Inhale, bring that chin up, shoulders back together, arching that back. You should have a nice curvature in your spine. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale. Exhale. Do about 3 more of these on your own. at your own pace. And then once you're finished, come back to a neutral position, just a neutral sitting position. And then we'll go from there. So take your time doing it. I'll give you a few moments. So once you're back into your neutral position, again, nice tall spine. Bring those shoulders up towards the ears, roll them back, shoulder blades together, keeping our chest out. We want to keep the chest open and out. None of this slouching forward. Training those shoulders to stay back. I don't know if anybody remembers, you have your grandmother. My grandmother used to put a book on my head, make me stand against a wall, bring those shoulders back against the wall. She used to make me do that. I love her. She was a wonderful woman. She did that. She always said, bring your shoulders back. So that was one of our exercises we had to do as kids. Anyway, so next, we'll try going into bird dog. So bird dog, usually on the floor, you're kicking your leg kind of back out while you're on your hands and knees. We're going to do a modified version of bird dog. So bring your right foot out, right arm out in front, or left arm out in front of you. Bring it back down. Then we're going to alternate. So now right arm out, left leg straight out. Bring it back down. So when you bring it out, pause for a second. So you're holding, using your body weight, using your muscles to build strength, and alternate from side to side. And you know, if you can't come up all the way full, that's okay. Even if your version of this is this, that's fine. Again, you work with what you have and the flexibility and the strength you have at this moment. This isn't a competition. This is what you can do with what you got. So again, coming back and forth. Again, working those arms, working those legs. Pausing when we get to the top, because we don't want to be using, we just want to be kicking our legs up like using momentum. You're really using the strength you have in your legs to hold, using your body weight. Like you're still building muscle. We'll do one more round of this. Perfect. Bring it back down. Maybe rolling the shoulders again, back up and out. Maybe rolling it a few times. Let's just keep rolling those shoulders back. Giving those backs a nice massage. Perfect. Bring those shoulders down away from the ears. Relaxing a bit. Again, nice tall spine. So for people that are familiar with yoga, you might have heard of sun salutations. So sun salutations are typically done standing up, you get down, you go into a plank, you go onto the floor, come back up. I've modified this so we can do a sun salutation, never actually getting out of our seat. And you're still, again, working very similar muscles, doing very similar things. So I'm just going to adjust my chair maybe to the opposite side so you can kind of see what it looks like from a different angle. Perfect. Okay, so sitting nice and tall in your seat, we're going to go into a sun salutation. We'll do 2 rounds of sun salutation. So sitting nice and tall in the seat, you can close your eyes just for a moment, feeling the feet connect really with the earth below you. Really feel the soles of the feet connecting. And once you're ready, we're going to sweep our arms up towards the sky, and then we're going to swan dive forward into a forward fold. If you can't go all the way to the ground, that's okay. If your forward fold is only on top of your your thighs, that's okay too. So forward fold, taking a moment here, and then bringing the hands up on top of the thighs, and not coming all the way up in our seat, but just for like a half kind of lift. Pausing here for a moment, and then exhaling, forward fold again, down towards the ground. And once you're ready, inhaling, bring your arms up in front of you. So again, like you're saying stop with two hands. Bringing it in front of you, then bringing the shoulder or the hands back towards, keeping the elbows in towards the center line of the chest. Bringing it in, bringing those shoulders back. So essentially you're bringing it back this way. Bring it back on each side of the chest. Then inhaling, lifting that chest up, bring the head up towards the sky. And this is a version of like baby cobra, but you're doing it sitting up. Exhaling, loosening that up just a bit, and then bringing the feet out in front of you as far as you can. If you have to keep bent, that's okay too. Bringing those feet out in front of you, sending those hands up towards the sky, leaning forward in your seat. Your ears should be in between your biceps. So it should be up in between the biceps for our downward facing dog. This is down dog. Holding that for a moment. Again, if your knees are bent, that's okay too. Exhaling, coming forward in a forward fold. Then inhaling, bringing those hands back up on top of the thighs, a nice straight back. Exhaling, forward fold down. Inhaling, sweeping those arms up to the sky, looking high up with the hands, and then bringing the hands together down towards the chest. So that's a sun salutation that we did completely seated. Didn't have to get up, but we're really creating some big movements there. So I'm going to do the second round of our sun salutation this way, just in case you didn't see it from very well from the other angle. So again, sweeping the arms up to the sky, swan diving forward, down towards the ground as far as you can go. Holding this for a moment. Inhaling, bring your hands up to the tops of your thighs. You're not sitting up completely straight, but your back is nice and flat. Exhaling, back down you go to the floor. Pausing here for a moment. Inhaling, bringing those hands up in front of you. Exhaling, bringing those hands in. Try keeping the elbows in towards the sides of the chest. Bringing those hands, still staying in that same position. But we're squeezing those shoulder blades together. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the head up to the sky. Pretend we're doing like a baby cobra, but we're doing it sitting up here. Exhale, go ahead, let loose. Inhale, send those arms up to the sky, almost like Superman, I guess. And you can even bring your legs out for our downward facing dog. Holding this for a moment. Exhaling, coming down, back to the floor for a forward fold. Pausing here just for a moment for a breath. Inhale, coming up part way, hands up on the chest. Again, back is not completely straight. We're kind of leaning forward. Nice straight back. Again, exhale, bring yourselves back down towards the earth. And then inhaling, sweeping those arms back up to the sky, looking up at those hands, bringing them together, following the hands back down to heart center. So you just did 2 sun salutations, completely sitting. You have issues with balance, you have issues, getting up and down off the floor. this is a perfectly acceptable way to do a sun salutation in yoga. So go ahead, sit a little bit back in your seat again. And we're going to keep the feet planted nice and flat against the earth. And then bringing the hands down to the sides, palms facing out, sitting nice and tall, sending again those shoulders back, and breathing, closing your eyes for our mountain pose. So mountain pose can be done standing up, but for anybody that has any issues again with balance, this is perfectly acceptable mountain pose. Still using strong arms. Feet are planted against the floor. Feel like you have roots coming up in through your feet, making it really like kind of firm and strong. Maybe even take your feet and like push them into the floor. Activating your legs. Again, sitting so tall. Mountain pose is such a strong pose. Pause here for some breaths. In through the nose, feeling the chest rise, the belly rise. And then exhaling so slow. Inhaling. As we inhale, feel yourself even get taller. And exhaling. Again, begin to flutter your eyes open, wiggle the fingers. You bring the fingers back up on top of your thighs. So as we go into this next, we're going to try tree pose. So tree pose, if you've seen it, it's usually you're standing on one leg, and you can do this, of course, using the chair as a prop if you ever need to. But we're going to do tree pose in the chair. So if you need a block, a stack of books, some pillows, whatever you have around you, feel free to use it. If not, that's okay. I have my blocks. So coming forward a bit on your chair, maybe to the center of your chair, getting nice firm grip on that chair, sitting nice and tall, bringing the hands to heart center. You're going to bring the leg out to the side of the chair. So I'm going to put my leg up on my block. So my right leg here is staying the same. Left leg is coming out towards the side. So my foot, essentially the inner part of my foot is on the long side of my mat. So bringing my foot out, hands are up at heart center. We're doing the same exact movement that we would do standing up, bringing that out to the side, just we're sitting. So we're still working the same muscle groups. The only difference is we're not balancing on one leg. If you ever want to give yourself that challenge, you can go ahead. If you need the help of that chair, just stand behind the chair and do the exact same thing and prop your leg up if you need to on something. Usually we fix it onto the side of our opposite leg, but for this purpose, we're going to hold this just for a moment, nice and strong. Opening that up. Inhale, exhale, nice and strong. And then bring that leg back in to center, placing it back down. So we're going to do the exact thing with the opposite side. So again, I'm going to use this. You can keep your foot on the floor. You don't have to do this. If you want to go up even higher with something higher, feel free to. Again, bringing the hands to heart center, bringing that foot out, again, towards the side the best you can. Now, if you can't come out that far, come out as far as you can. Like this is, again, is a test of flexibility. So work towards this. This is something to work towards. So again, keeping that leg nice and straight in front of you, bringing that leg out towards the side. Again, sitting nice and tall in the seat, holding that stretch. Breathing. Always bringing ourselves back to our breath. And as you exhale, release that leg back in front of you. arms can come back down. Now, I did lie saying we were going to do this entirely sitting in a chair. We are going to do chair pose. And the thing with chair pose is you're already sitting in a chair. So, but I'm going to try a little bit of a strength training, I guess, exercise with whoever wants to try. If you're not comfortable getting out of your chair, just go ahead, stay in maybe a prayer position or just an easy seated position, or your hands can come out at your side just for the moment, and then you can watch and decide for yourself if you wanted to participate in this. So chair pose. So a chair essentially is like you're going to sit down in a chair. So for chair pose, keeping the hands, say a heart center to start, and coming down towards your chair, keeping the back nice and straight. The knees, you don't want them to come up over top of the feet. You want to make sure you can see the tipsy toes of your feet. Hands out in front of you, just like you're about to sit down in that seat behind you. Side it back, nice straight back. Maybe bring those hands out in front of you if you can. If not, keep them at heart center. And then come back up. Nice straight position. Again, try this again. Sitting down towards the seat, maybe just hovering above the seat. Holding that position, breathing, and then coming back up. So we're going to do this one more time, but we're going to hold the squat and just pulsate just above the chair. So you always have your chair to come back onto. As well, if you need it, you need your chair for stability, you can always hold your chair and do this. So don't ever feel like, you don't have something to hold on to. You always have your chair. So we'll come back down into our chair, hold this for a moment, and then just pulsate. Pulsate, try to get a little deeper if you can. Feel those legs kind of starting to fire up. One more, and come back up. Woo, okay. So sitting back down in your chair. If you're already in your chair and you decided that's not for you, that's okay. Whatever's available for you today is good. Now, in a chair pose, so complete sitting in the chair, we're going to do a twist. So bringing the hands towards your heart center. Again, sitting nice and tall in your seat. And this time we'll go towards my left. So whatever your left is on the screen. And bringing the body down. So bring the elbow almost down towards your thigh. Keeping the hands in the center of your chest. If you're able to, hooking that arm in kind of just on the outside of where your knee is. If you're flexible, I'm not that flexible. Some people can do it. Sending that shoulder back. So try not to round the shoulder out. You find that you're rounding your shoulder out. Actually bring your left hand in behind your back, lower back, and that'll automatically send that shoulder back. And then you can just keep your right hand at the center of your chest. Breathing. And then coming back up to center. And I'll switch sides here, just so you can kind of see from my end what it kind of looks like. So again, we're going to be keeping our hands at heart center. And yes, we're going to go towards the right this time. So again, bringing that down towards the right leg, keeping the hands at heart center. If you can't, bring that left hand in behind towards your lower back. Right hand can stay on the heart, and you're just going to do a nice big twist. Breathing, and then coming back up to center. So that's a twist in our chair pose. So coming back up to center. Taking a moment for child's pose. So child's pose in a chair, again, bringing yourself down towards, on top of your thighs, and you can even interlace your hands underneath your legs, if you can. If not, just let your hands dangle like a forward fold almost, and bringing the head down towards your knees. So like almost like a fetal position. Just relaxing here. Taking a moment. And if at any point this is too much, you just come back up more into a seated position. But this is child's pose modified. Breathing. Again, always remembering our breath. Inhale, coming back up into a straight position. We're going to do a couple more poses before we finish. So again, sitting nice and tall in the seat, and perhaps coming towards the, say, the right side of your seat. You're going to swivel your leg, your left leg. So your kind of bum is sitting back on the side of the seat. Your left leg is coming out on this side, and you're going to send this leg, move my thing out of the way, this leg back. So your foot is parallel. I'll move myself down a little bit so I can. So coming this way, sending that leg back. And this is a modified warrior two. Sweeping the arms up to the side. Leg comes back. If you can't bring that leg back, keep the leg bent, like you're sitting in the chair, and then just bring this leg out to the side. That's okay. So gazing up over those fingers, holding up for a moment, bringing the hands down, coming back to center, and then moving to the other side. So right leg comes out to the side. We can send that other leg back. So just adjusting yourself in your seat so you feel nice and sturdy. Foot comes back, right leg in front of you, sweeping those arms up to each side, nice and strong, warrior position. Again, breathing, gazing over those fingertips. Exhaling, bringing it down and back to center. So you did some pretty good, strong positions. And now we're going to go in just to our cool down stage. So for cool down, we'll try to do a pigeon pose. So pigeon pose usually on the ground is a little bit different, but this one, bring your left ankle up onto your right thigh. Now, if this isn't accessible to you, go ahead, even a block on the floor books, and just let the hip come out. So you're keeping your foot on its side, and just let it fall out. You're going to train yourself eventually maybe to get up and up and up and up and eventually here. So if you can't do that, start small. So if you're able to get your foot in that position, hinge forward, chest coming down towards the leg that's sitting on top or towards the floor. It's nice straight back. Don't slouch forward. Come forward. Put the hands in front of you. Hold this position just for a moment. You should feel a nice stretch in that left glute. Again, breathing, holding for a moment, inhaling, coming back up to center, switching sides. Again, if you have to, just allowing that hip to kind of fall open is good for now. If you can get higher, bring that foot up. Then again, bring the chest down towards the floor and bring your hands just on top, feeling a nice stretch in that right side. I know I am. Hold that and breathing. Again, on your next inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Bring that leg down to the ground. Feet planted firmly on the floor. Maybe bring one leg up at a time. Give yourself 2 separate hugs here. One hug on one knee at each time. You did it. You followed a whole yoga class. Now you get to relax. Bring yourself back in your chair. Send those shoulders back. Chest nice and open. Hands can come down at the side. This is our version of Shavasana, so corpse pose is what most yoga classes finish with. Leaning back in your chair, hands at the side. Again, bringing ourselves back into our breath. Letting those legs relax, letting those arms relax. If you feel any muscle tension, begin to go ahead and let go. Just let everything kind of relax and melt into your chair. And the only thing you have to focus on in this moment is your breath. So as you're breathing, I always finish, everybody's eyes are nice and closed, relaxing. I always finish with a little bit of yoga wisdom. So I'm going to bring it back to what my wisdom was on my first class of this year. So begin in stability. So we build a yoga pose from the ground up in the same way that we build a house. First, we build a sturdy foundation, and then we construct the floors, the walls, and roof on top. Without a stable foundation, the structure will not be strong and enduring. Similarly, you need to construct anything in life in this manner, whether it's a friendship, a business, or a creative endeavor. When you begin any endeavor by first establishing stability through communicating, organizing, and goal setting, you give yourself a solid basis on which to build for the future. The next time you embark on a new relationship, job, project, create a stable base from which to grow. Begin in stability. So I think that's a perfect way to take a class like this. It's preparing ourselves for those foundations to move forward in your yoga practice if you choose to do so. Again, chair yoga is a wonderful way to do that. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening. I really appreciate it. Have a beautiful weekend. If you have anything that you need from me, please feel free to contact me. And from my heart to yours, namaste.